Yeah, there you go. We already started. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Thank you live from Airplay Beats for the intro music. We are recording live from New Darling Media Studios in Midtown Sac. Now, we got two special guests today. And I'm just starting this off because at the end of every show, I ask who should come on next. And I'm keeping my promises here, Sacramento and surrounding areas. We got Toki and Craig from Binchoyaki in the house. So let me just tell you a little bit of background about how I know these two. And Toki, I don't know if you remember this, but I met you at the Tower Bridge dinner. Do you remember that night?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
You're a better drinker than I am because I don't remember stuff.
I may have been a little tipsy that night, but I do remember.
And then Craig, you know, we hit it off first time we met. We ran into each other at different events around Sac. One event that I want to tell you about, Craig, you know, we're at the Sausage Fest over there in front of Lowbrow, and I kept telling them, like, they just like picked the name out of the hat, and I came up, and Craig kept saying, "Cecil, look around. You're with like some of the top chefs. You belong here." And I'm like, "Man, nah. They just picked me out of a hat," and I won the whole goddamn thing. So, you know, I just want to thank Craig for keeping my head up that night. So I just want to welcome you two to the podcast. Welcome to Coming In Hot.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. You know,
thank you.
Nah, you guys are doing your thing. So let's get to the beginning of. I want to go through each one of your stories real quick. So we'll start with you, Toki. How did you get into the restaurant business? And, you know, all the way to, we'll stop at the beginning of Open Up Binchoyaki because we'll get into that later.
Man, I don't know. I finished high school. I grew up down in LA in the suburbs.
Okay.
And I finished high school, and, you know, I was that typical, you know, 3.8, whatever, get into UC, go to college and do that kind of stuff. But I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I told my parents that, you know, I don't want that right of UC. So let me just go to a city college and figure out what I really want to do. And so I was at Pasadena City College. And one day I was working at Gap. Every girl that works at the mall, and I was replenishing some clothes, and I bumped into this girl that was wearing a culinary uniform. And then as soon as she turned around, I'm like, I'm gonna go to this school.
Okay. What culinary school was that down in Pasadena?
It was called the Le Cordon Bleu in Pasadena, and California School of Culinary Arts.
Oh, nice.
And so the next day I went to their school campus, got all the information, told my parents, and my dad was like, "Hell no, you ain't going to culinary school." You know,
I got the same thing from my parents. Okay.
You know, the typical Asian dad of like, that's a man's job. You can't do that job. And I was like, you know what? I got this. Fuck you then. So I got myself my own school loan, paid for myself, went to school full time, had a job, 2 jobs full time to pay for the tuition. And second class in, that's when I met this guy. And so I've known this guy for what, 20 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Was it the dimples? Did the dimples get you?
I don't know. It was the first one. Is like, can I get a cigarette from you? Was the fixed
Yeah.
And then 8 years later, figured out, it's like, this fool never ran out of cigarettes. How did he ask me for a cigarette that one night? So here we are now, 20 years later, we're all together. What, 12 years being married?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how long you been married?
Started. 12 this
12
year.
years. Oh, wow. Congratulations, you two. All
Yeah.
right, Craig, let's get over to you, man. Like, how did you start in the culinary industry, and what were some of your stories and your struggles?
Well, it's I kind of just started working. My first job, I was working at Oto's, this little Japanese grocery store here in Sacramento, and
Yep, I know Oto's.
learned how to. The owner was a butcher. He taught me how to butcher and cut fish and do all that stuff, and so that was kind of my start, I guess, in the culinary world. And then I ended up moving out to. I was living in Santa Barbara actually, and I was going to City College, and I was working at a grocery store over there. And my dad was like, "Hey, you're not really that good with this whole school thing. Maybe you should try to use your hands because you seem to be good with your hands." I said, "Yeah, well, all right." He's like, I was down in LA last week, and I set you up with an appointment at a culinary school." And I was like, "Oh, you did? Cool, thanks." He's like, "Yeah, so go down there and go get a tour and figure it out." So ended up going to culinary school, and that's obviously where I met Toki there too. And kind of actually ended up liking it, and kind of just pursued it a little more, and ended up working in a bunch of restaurants down there, a lot of French restaurants, hotels, things like that. And then ended up getting into a Japanese restaurant, and really liked the food. And that restaurant didn't make it very well, but then got headhunted by another group to help run this huge, like 300 seat restaurant. And they sent me to Japan. I got to train, spent a few months over there doing that, learning the food, and really just enjoyed doing that. And ended up moving up here, and said, "Hey, well, worked around here for a little bit, and then just said, I can't work for anybody anymore. Everybody's crazy. So, I need to kind of do my own thing." And so, we finally kind of settled on doing this. It's small plates and the grill and that kind of stuff. It's always something I always love. So, that's kind of where we are now. So
Yeah, but you got to tell him about the Mr. Odo that never gave up on Craig, because he was the type of guy that never showed up to work on time. He wouldn't even leave the bed. So his mom used to tell me that Mr. Odo used to show up at his house, drag him out of bed, and take him to work. So if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't been able to continue this path. Much respect.
They fired me and rehired me, and fired me and rehired me.
I had the same thing. I was working down at Sutro's Kitchen down at the Cliff House down in San Francisco, and every Saturday I'll get off of work Friday night. I'll go down to go out to the bar, party all night, and they always put me on Saturday morning. And I always told them they already know how I got down, especially San Francisco, mid-20s, like I'm out here partying, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing everything under the sun, treating my body like an amusement park. And they always put me on Saturday morning. And one day I'm going downstairs in the employee elevator, and the executive chef, he's never there. That one day I step in, and there he is. And all he said was like, "Never be late again." So I went to my sous chef. I was like, "Bro, I'm not going to wake up on time." You know what I mean? Like, so this put me back at nights, man.
Exactly. Definitely being in this industry, we knew how to pickle our liver.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm a pickle. I can't go back to a cucumber for sure.
Yeah. So remember that one Mother's. Oh man, yeah, those were the days. I think we're much wiser now, but I'm sure we still have those days.
I just stopped. I was like, I can't do it to my body no more. Hey, let me ask you a question about culinary school, because this is a question that I get all the fucking time. Should I go to culinary school? Craig, I was at Moxie for 5 years before I went to culinary school. You were at Oto's for how many years before you went to culinary school?
I was there for about 3 years.
Yeah. And then Toki, you went straight to culinary school.
I did.
what do you tell people? Because I know you get the question all the time, should I go to culinary school?
Oh,
That just depends on if you can learn quickly or not. Like culinary school kind of gives you that training and that kind of the background of everything and terminology of like what things are and what like if I want something to be cut a certain way or whatever, then you kind of have that terminology, the basics of cooking. You know, one of my chef mentors never went to culinary school, is one of the best chefs that I know, and it just kind of depends on how you pick it up. If you can pick it up and you can learn quickly, then you don't need to go to culinary school. You just need to learn and pay attention. And I always felt the best investment is investment in yourself. So if you want to pay attention when you're in the kitchen and you want to listen and you want to learn these things and pick them up, there's no need to go to culinary school. But if you think it's like kind of supposed to be like, oh, you're going to come out of culinary school and you're just going to be an executive chef and you're just going to make this amount of money this whole time and you're going to be really good, but you got C's all the way through and you don't even know what the hell you're doing, then no, you definitely need to go to culinary school and you need to learn and pay attention. But people want to work hard and they want to get out there and they want to learn from the people that they're working for, then I say it's not necessary. I've even had chefs, I went for a job, they're like, I really don't like that you went to culinary school. I see on the resume right here, you went to culinary school. I really don't like that, but I see progression in your positions that you've held and things like that. And so, that's why basically we're having the conversations about, moving up and maybe me taking over as a chef at their establishment or whatnot. But, a lot of that is the progression. It's just, if you can keep progressing and you can get better and you can retain the information, then fuck culinary school. Like, it's a waste of money. Then if you're going to do it and you can learn it and pay attention, then by all means, just go straight into the kitchens and get moving. Just pay attention to the people who obviously know more than you. So, I'm still learning these days. I go to these events like with you guys and I'm learning stuff from you guys, but who else is going to be teaching me right now? Right. So, and I just try to teach the guys that are working for me now too. Hopefully then they can be better and they can move on in their culinary world and, hopefully be an asset to whomever they go to. And so, that's all we can do right now, I guess. But culinary school, I guess, is not totally necessary, but
I teach everybody everything that I know just so I can have a favor that they're going to owe me later.
Yeah.
so Toki. So Toki, I'm a new chef and I'm somebody new coming to you saying, hey, I want to go to culinary school. What are you telling them, Toki?
First is, who's going to pay for that? Because to me, I feel like if your parents are going to pay for it, if you're going to pay for it, I feel like money value is a little different on how you invest in yourself. Like, I feel like I went to straight culinary school, but I also grew up in a restaurant industry because my uncle was a sushi chef. My great grandfather had his own restaurant. My cousin has his own industry in my family too. So investing in myself with that culinary school and paying for it on my own, I feel like I had to get something out of it. I ain't going to waste my time sitting there getting a C average, fiddling my fingers, watching the chef do all the demos and learn. I literally put myself in there, make sure that my every penny that I spent and interest that I paid, I'm turning 40 this year and I'm still paying, for that small amount of culinary school that I went 20 years ago. You got to make it worth it. I remember I used to drink with my friend Buddha, and back in the day, we always say, you got to be somebody. And, it's your choice and how you put yourself into that situation. And I feel like if you invest in yourself and it's your choice, if it's what you want to make out of it. I don't know.
I wish I would have had your mindset back then, because I fucked around.
Well, we all did in a certain way.
I was over the top with it. All right, so we're in 2016. When did Binchoyaki? When did you guys say, you know, I know you kind of said a little bit earlier, Craig, but you guys, you know, like you said that you're tired of working for other people. Why don't you just work for yourself? Why Binchoyaki? Why that style of cooking? And you guys don't have any kind of sushi rolls or anything, right? Correct?
Hell no.
Heck no.
As much as we love eating sushi, we didn't want to be a Japanese restaurant that served sushi because everybody has sushi. Everybody already knows sushi. Everybody knows that Japanese food is sushi and teriyaki. So we wanted to be different. We wanted the comfort food. We wanted the soul food, you know, things that we ate at home, you know, that we grew up eating. So we wanted to be different.
Yeah, definitely be different. And you know, I went to Japan, trained to work on these, you know, the barbecues that we use at the restaurant. And you know, I love barbecue. It doesn't matter what it is, you know, anything barbecue. If there's coals and there's fire, like I love it. I like the smell. I like the way it tastes, you know, that kind of thing. And so it was like, you know, Sacramento did not have a restaurant like that here at the time. And it was like, well, this is literally something I just been doing for the past, you know, what, 4 or 5 years now. And it was, you know, kind of a way for us to be able to, okay, well, this is kind of something that we like to do. We know how to do. You know, we like to eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and not just, you know, this big huge meal of you know, like one thing. And so it was kind of a way for us to kind of showcase that and be able to do that. You know, obviously a lot of people didn't understand that in the beginning or whatnot, but
we still get people like, can I get some crab rolls? And we're like, what? No. No, we get the phone call. It's like, well, I haven't really looked at your menu yet, but what kind of rolls you got? And it's like, no.
And we've had lots of people come into the restaurant, look at the menu, and be like, "Oh, y'all don't got sushi," and then they just leave.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
We still joke around. We should make a neon sign saying we ain't gonna serve sushi here ever.
Well, you know, part of that too is like, why compete with everybody else who's doing sushi, right? That doesn't really make sense, you know. Everybody always thinks a Japanese restaurant, yeah, cool, then you're doing sushi, and so that kind of breaks that mold. And then, you know, I looked at the demographics in, you know, Sacramento. There's like what, there was somewhere at the time, I guess it was somewhere like 17, 18 Japanese restaurants inside Midtown. Well, they're all serving sushi. So now what, we're going to be at 19th or the 20th, you know, Japanese restaurant in Midtown serving the same thing that everyone else is serving. So trying to have a niche and be a little bit different was something we wanted to do. So it's just like, okay, well, instead of having the sushi bar, let's do the barbecue bar. This is great. And, you know, it's good. It's a lot of work to do all the little skewers and stuff, but it's definitely something much better. And at least for us, and kind of sets us apart and makes us a little bit different. So
no sushi for us.
Yeah.
No sushi. I mean,
so were you guys the first ones to sat in Sacramento doing the countertop barbecue? You know, Japanese. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
and our barbecue doesn't even have a gas line or electric line either. It's all straight charcoal that we cook up every morning and add charcoal all day long, use a fan to control, a small little window for the wind to go in. So it's the real thing.
No, and I heard very good things about it. You know, I was taking my my chefs and my managers, and you guys are gonna be our next. We went to Localities, we went to Crew, and then we're going to you guys next, and then the damn pandemic hit. So, you know, when all this bullshit is over, that's the first place I'm bringing the Crew into. So how did you guys find that spot? You know, it's on at the end of, is it W and 10th or 10th and W? And how did you find that spot? Was it a restaurant before, or did you guys have to go in there and gut it?
Well, for a long time, it was a Japanese restaurant called Rickshaw, and they were there for probably like 30 years or something.
Okay.
And then he finally just
Retired.
he just retired and just dropped everything. Said, you know what, I'm done with this. And then it was closed for I think for a couple of years, and a donut shop took it over, and they were there for a few years.
And
And
that's when we were driving around and we were looking like, if we were about to open a restaurant, where we want to open. And we drove around and we saw that place Doba. We're like, man, it would be awesome if we could open up an old Japantown.
Mm-hmm.
But and one day we heard Doba was closing. I was like, Craig, drop me off, park the car. And I literally got out of the car. I like banged on the window and said, excuse me. Sorry to say, but I heard you're closing. Can I get the landlord's number?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's
then we
great.
contacted her, and here we are.
yeah, but yeah, we did kind of have to go in and gut the whole place. It's a whole building, and
Mm-hmm.
it took a long time to kind of get it constructed. No contractors had been in that restaurant probably since the damn thing was built in like 1959. So it's like handyman fixing another handyman, fixing another
Mhm.
handyman, fixing
Mhm.
another handyman. It's like I ripped down this wall, and it's like, oh my god, all this is so wrong. Everything is messed up. I mean, just
It was before the blueprints.
yeah. So it was
No,
just like,
so you didn't get the as bills, right? You're the first ones to have an as build in the place, right?
yeah.
Oh man. So, one other thing that, you guys are a chef destination. All the chefs in Sacramento come to Binchoyaki. How does that make you feel? Because I'm one of those people where a lot of chefs come up to me and like, dude, your chicken is fire. Like that's one of the greatest feelings you could get when your peers are like, your food is really good. This is where I come on my day off. How does that make you two feel because every chef that I talk to, I'm like, hey, what's a good place? Everybody's list has Binchoyaki on it. How does that make you guys feel?
That's an honor.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a real honor, actually. It's um, above and beyond everything else. It's kind of like we cook and we try to cook from our heart and make soul food. And you know, our biggest thing is we just want to try to make good food, and hopefully people come back. And then now we have chefs standing outside of our restaurant, and
Mhm.
you know, some of these guys are been around here in Sacramento, kind of helped building the scene for long before we were even open. And then for them to come and eat and then help support us and say, hey, let us know if you need anything and this and that. And just, get to a point where sometimes I'll be, when we were open late on Fridays and Saturdays, to be like, I've got like 4 executive chefs in here. One of them's got a Michelin star and,
Mhm.
this and that. And it's just like, it's almost a little overwhelming. Like, I hope my food's good enough, and it is a little nerve wracking, but above and beyond everything else, it is an honor that they like to come and eat, and
Mhm.
we appreciate it very much. I would much rather feed chefs and people in the restaurant industry who care about food than anyone else, or I don't need any other recognition from anyone
Mhm.
other than I have great chefs coming to eat because they like the food. That's the biggest recognition I could have. So
It's feel the love,
Yeah.
it's literally like what we all have in common. This industry is a thin line between love and hate.
Mhm.
But you love it, but when you fucking hate it with rage.
Mhm.
You just want to throw everything at it and be all pissed off. But that one small thing that gives back that we all have, it's that love and passion. And people ask, it's like, well, what makes your food so good? It's like, it's super hella corny, but it's like, it's love.
Yep.
Like you could really taste the love in the food, and that's all what it is. Like we have the opportunity to be in Sacramento, to be that farm to fork. We have the
Mhm.
great products. We have the veggies and fruits and the meats and everything. But if you don't have the love, then that food isn't going to be complete because you ain't serving it with love. You know,
Yeah.
it's not you. And I think chefs feel that and taste that. And that's what we love about Sacramento, because a lot of the chefs here have that love and have that passion, and they could taste it. And they come to us and they taste our food and they taste our love. And that's like the greatest appreciation we could ever get from anybody.
You guys are dropping science right now on the cooking game, you know, like, and, you know, me, of course, you know, like my cooks, like, there's like, we're just frying chicken. I'm like, no, there's a way to do it. You know, like there's a way to, you know, get that flour, get that egg wash, get that flour again, fry, refry, you know, like there's a way to do it. There's a way of passion behind every recipe, even though I'm not on the line cooking, you know, every day, but, you know, I'm back there and I'm telling them like, hey, you know, this is the way you got to do it. This is the way you got to massage that chicken. This is the way you got to sprinkle that seasoning on top. You know what I mean? Like, you
Exactly.
know, like, and you have to pass that down, because if you're not, you can't be back there every goddamn second of the day. You know, like we got bills to pay, we got payroll to do, you know, like, but if you're not teaching that to your staff either, like it's just, you might as well just be going to KFC. You know what I'm saying? So, or going to that, you know, the Rayleigh's for your sushi, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, that's one thing that I think a lot of people, when they grow, they're not going back and talking to the staff and making sure they're learning about where you came from and why you're doing these things. And a lot of stuff gets lost when, you know, people are training, or you as an owner are training your staff, you know, like you have to tell them that story. So I really appreciate you guys saying that. So if somebody's walking into your restaurant for the first time, what's that menu item that you're telling them that they need to get? But I know you guys change your menu quite often, but is there a signature that you guys have, or are you guys just like going off of the, you know, the barbecue menu?
Well, you know, I always say try the crispy rice. It's, you know, it's one of those, it's simple, it's easy. It's kind of, it's our closest thing to sushi that you have. So it gives people that, you know, that kind of, you know, that familiarized kind of a thing. Like, okay, it's sushi, but it's not sushi. We fry the rice, we put spicy tuna on top, a little chili. It's great, simple, easy dish to share, that kind of thing. It's, you know, it's like basically 4 pieces. So, you know, it's not a big commitment either. And so, you know, it's always a good thing. I always do say, yeah, try the barbecue too, but you know, barbecue is great, but if you eat 100 skewers, it's going to be really expensive, and then you're going to get really upset. And you're gonna be like, so you know that's not.
Well, the skewer is not about like a big fat bowl of rice and like 50 skewers. Like those skewers are meant to be like nibbled on with like beer and like sake. You know, it's to accompaniment the alcohol. You know?
Okay.
And that's why our sauce that we make, it's been aging ever since we opened. You know, so no one can replicate our sauce because it gets made and it's aged. As years pass, like it builds that character and it changes that flavor, but it's there to accompaniment your drink and good company, your laughs, your, you know, with people. So whatever you feel you're eating, you know, just go with your intuition, because we're not planning to serve you shitty ass food.
Yeah.
You know, then if it's shitty, then it's not on menu. Always try to recommend whatever that tickles your pickle, right? Or whatever you feel like. Just choose and enjoy and go with it with an open mind.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you guys are having fun, you know, in the restaurant. Like, and you know, like, you know, when you walk into a restaurant and it's stuffy and you're like, man, like I know as soon as I sit down, like what experience I'm gonna have. Is the hostess cool? Is the server coming up saying hey, or is it just like, you know, you see people in the kitchen, or you hear like clanging and all this bullshit, you already know what you're going to have. So it seems like you guys are having fun, you know, like you're not trying to tell people what to eat next and how to, you know, swipe their fork on the plate. And, you know, like the chef wants you to do this. Just come in and eat some fucking good food, right? All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Relax, enjoy the people you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you guys are counter service, so you can even talk to
It's
people
just-
right next to you as well. All right, so
Exactly. Every like Friday, Saturday nights when we used to open at midnight. Hello?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're just saying, like, it's the counter. So every Friday, Saturday night, like, we get a lot of people that come in by themselves. And at the end of the night, when they leave, they're sitting in groups of fours, you know, cheering and drinking drinks together and nibbling on their food and talking about whatever they ordered and talking about their life, talking about their bullshit of life, you know? It's nice to see that one person leave with like 4 or 5 people all hanging out, making new friends. Like, that's what an izakaya is all about, you know. And this whole COVID, you know, kind of turned it upside down, but we want that to come back because we need human interactions, you know. We need that conversation, that skin, you know, relationship. And it's just, we miss it because
Yeah.
an izakaya is not an izakaya without that hustle and bustle.
Yeah. All right, so they're saying we might be in the red tier this week. Is that something that you guys are looking for? Is that even moving the needle for you guys? I know you got a small spot over there, so it's maybe like two seats. You know, a downtown restaurant. I'm like, I got 2 booths then, you know. So
well, you know, we have 30 seats, and you know, we get miscommunication from the mayor's office and health department. Does that include our employees or not? You know, and so health department says it does, the mayor's office says it doesn't, and so if it includes it, I have like 8 to 10 employees already, which means immediately indoor dining is out.
Well, before we even go that, we only got 30 seats. So think about 6 feet social distancing in there. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, and plus, you know, having 5 seats, you know, and having a full inventory and having our full staff, like no matter how many times we tried to turn the table, it's not feasible. Like as much as we want to, but realistically, come on, like we can't pay our bills with 5 seats being open from 4 to 10.
Yeah.
You know, and we got like insy bincy skewers that we got to skewer by hand. You know, it's labor costs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I really do.
So
Yeah, you know, and we haven't done outdoor dining yet either, so we haven't kind of done any of that jazz yet.
yeah. And our kids are too young to put them on child labor yet, so they can't be serving tables.
Hey, I just started my 13-year-old last month. I was like, bro, I'm tired. I'm tired of these PlayStation bills. It's time for you to start paying for your own shit. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, y'all want to wear a pair of Jordans? All right. Well, you know that family discount price on the washing pit on a Friday night for like at least 8 hours. You know, so it's hard to get that staffing, especially, you know, when everybody's opening up.
Yeah.
That I think is our biggest struggle right now, is to find the staffing, people who want to work. You know, do we even have
staffing is hard right now. I am with you. Hey, are you guys ready to play some games? I got a couple games for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay, so this one's because you two are a power couple. Power couple in the restaurant industry here with us. Binchoyaki. Top 5 power couple restaurateurs in Sacramento. You guys could go back and forth. We could start with 5. You could go to 1, or you could just throw five power couple restaurateurs. And I'm taking myself out of it. You know, me and Jake are not allowed on this list.
Well, Mulvaney's.
Yeah, I guess Mulvaney's.
Mulvaney's, all right.
Cannon.
All right.
Caccio.
Who's that?
Caccio.
Okay, Caccio, okay.
Who else? Hawks.
Hawks,
Ooh,
yeah.
Hawks, yeah.
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 Where else? Oh, Pizzasaurus Rex.
Yep.
All right. Nice. That's a nice list right there. Those are some very, very good operations that those guys are running out there.
And Sushi Q.
Ooh, hey, that's my spot. I love some Sushi Q. Those guys are doing it big out there in Elk Grove.
We just had them for lunch today. They opened up the Southland Park one.
Oh, they did? Okay, I'm gonna have to go check it out. Yeah, that's some really good sushi out there. All right.
So there's a lot of power couples out there.
There is. Hey, the 5, you know, we just have time for 5 though. All right, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? All right. Okay. Yeah. Who's coming to dinner? So it could be anybody. It could be a celebrity. It could be a comedian. It could be somebody that you like in SAC. So 5 people that you're inviting to Binchoyaki tonight. You're going to put up, you know, something in the window so nobody can see people sitting down, you know, inside. But who's coming to dinner? Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Damn. Come on.
I definitely want some comedians. So, you know, probably going to have to say, I'd like to have Dave Chappelle come eat, you know, be good.
What about your favorite rapper, Too Short?
Too Short, yeah, you good to have Too Short there too.
But he's gonna have a bunch of bitches with him, right?
Exactly. Oh, then, you know, if that's the case,
you gotta tell him he gotta come by himself.
I don't know. Who else? You choose.
Jesus. Oh no. Spicy. Yeah.
Dead or alive?
Yeah. Just trying to think about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Oh no.
I guess we don't have that many people.
Well, Too Short to bring people with
just
them.
To hear him shit talk.
Yeah. Oh wow. Gordon Ramsay, Dave Chappelle, and Too Short. Okay, well you gotta put a female up in there. You gotta put a female up in there. Who would that be?
You choose the female.
I don't know. Well, I'm always gonna say Najina.
Oh yeah. Oh, she'll bring some fire.
Yeah,
she will bring some fire.
With her. So yeah, she's my ride or die.
Yeah, that's what she said. All right, we got one more. We got one more person.
One more person.
That's a good question.
Dead or alive?
I chose 3 already. 2.
You know what? Anna.
Okay, that was a little off the wing.
Princess Diana.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a curveball, but I want to see Too Short and Princess Diana talk. I want to see what that conversation's like. And I want to know if they're leaving together.
You might do that, you know.
Because Prince Harry don't look like his dad. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. Hey, this is the part of the podcast where we're gonna come in hot, guys. We're coming in hot. So this is a hot topic. Anything that you guys want to get off your chest. I know there's a pandemic coming on, and you know, like you kind of already talked about it, Craig. You know, but This is your guys' topic that you're coming in hot. What we got?
What you got?
You know, yes, I know we're in a pandemic and everybody's opening up, but you know, everybody need to be safe too. You know, we're not all the way through this. Not everybody's all vaccinated yet. This is not 100%. You know, people's lives and families are at risk still too. And you know, we want everybody to be safe. And people that aren't, it sucks. And then people are getting upset that you know we're not open or whatnot, or you know, all this and that, and you know, all these people already doing indoor dining before we're really allowed to be doing it. Is like, it's not really helping the situation. You know, everybody needs to kind of get out of their own way for a minute, just to help the society kind of get back together. You know, it's like we all want to get back together and we all want to do what we used to do and hang out and be together and chill, but you know, it's like everyone just needs to be a little bit patient to help, you know, knock this thing out so that we can all do that. But you know, the more people want to be stubborn and not pay attention, you know, there's people in the restaurants. It's like, as much as everyone else wants to dine out, but these people got to serve you too. And then you're not being safe or wanting to, you know, respect the same that you want to go out with. Is like, that don't make sense to me. So, you know, some of that kind of stuff is a little bit irritating. You know, we all work in the restaurant industry. We want to be safe. We have families and stuff too. And everybody doesn't want to be safe and be around that kind of thing. But you know, we want to be safe too. We want people to dine as, you know,
It's cool to me. It's like, it's cool what you want to believe and do what you want to do, but at the same time we still have to live in a society. You know, we still have, you can't just live alone. So I totally understand that, you know, we all need to survive as a business and customer wants to eat and dine in again. But it's really hard when we get a phone call and people ask if we're doing dine in and we say we're not, and we get some people just yelling at us like, why we ain't open for indoor dining. It's like, you know, don't tell me how to do my job.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you, you know, but I get phone calls every day. Like, why am I not doing my job? You know, it's like, well, I'm sorry, but I got 2 young kids at home and I have another one coming this Friday, you know, and it's like, we're being very careful. I want my staff to be careful. I don't want them to come down because now it's so sad. You could actually talk to someone and said, my father passed away from COVID. It's like, who wants to hear that? Oh, that's to me, it if it comes to a point that you need to tell me how to do my job, that's a little fish. And so, you know, time will come. It will come for us to all be together again and eat. We just have to take it step by step. And sometimes, you know, patience is a virtue, right? We just have to be a little bit more patient. And so the only thing we're asking for is, you know, we truly appreciate, you know, that we get our takeout and we get the business and we're surviving. It's hard and it's hard for everybody, but we will all get there at the other side of the tunnel eventually. And we just have to make it together, not just everyone race to the end and whoever goes through that tunnel first is the winner. You know, we got to think about each other and we got to help each other and we got to help other restaurants too and hold hands and we all got to fight together.
Yeah.
It's a battle that we all fight together.
We're all, you know, like, and restaurants, you know, like we got the Shaft this last year. You know, we're some of the cleanest places, you know, that you could ever. We're sanitary. We're sanitary before the pandemic, but for some reason we just got picked on, you know. But we're sitting here. We're still surviving. We ain't bitching and moaning when we get, you know, one email that says purple tier, then the next email says red tier, and then the next one says brown tier, and this is all in 1 fucking hour, guys. You know, like, hey, you know, it's like you get something in the morning, by the end of the night, you're out. You know, like, I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Then you call in the county, what can we do? The city's telling me this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, where the fuck do I go after this? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let me just keep doing takeout and I'll be safe, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. At the end of the night, it's like, okay, well then, can you give us some money to
Yeah.
help us survive?
Yeah. Well, you gotta give up your firstborn. You know, you gotta you gotta have been in business for 15 years. You know, like you gotta have your tax returns from 2001. You know?
Exactly. Might as well go get your report cards from your elementary school, see if you qualify.
Exactly. Got straight D's.
Sure.
You can't have no loan.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah.
man, that
That
was
is
great. That was awesome. All right, guys, we're headed towards the end here. So the way I got you on here was Najina said that you needed to be a guest on here. So who should I have next, Craig and Toki?
I don't know.
I don't know. We got so many. I don't know. I always say Najina, and Najina asked me. So is there like it could be anybody
Yeah, it could be. I try to
in the
keep it to
restaurant
Sac and
industry?
surrounding areas, but hey, if you got like a celebrity, if you got Dave Chappelle on the line, you know, I could get him on here.
Right. Too short and some beaches on the line, then that would be great. I don't know, who would it be?
Yeah, it's you. You get to choose.
You know, one of the girlfriends that I've been, helping us through the pandemic as a mother, as a worker, we support each other. If you know Jareen Williams, she works for Devil May Care Ice Cream on
Oh, I
K
do
Street.
know her. Yeah, Jareen. Yeah, that's
Yes,
the homie. Yeah,
yes, I love
she's
her.
still doing the Oak Park farmers market.
No, she's fully at Devil May Care now.
Okay, yeah, she
And
actually DM'd me a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
and she's been my mama that I go to. We talk all the time. We support each other during this pandemic. Her, Nijina, Nena, they're really my good friends, and they just opened Devil May Care. They got the good ice creams. I've been craving it all the time.
Yeah, they're right up the block
So
from me. All right, guys. One more thing. Go ahead and plug your socials. How can they get to you? Websites, everything that you want to plug. This is the time. Go ahead and plug it.
Well, we're only open for takeout still, but people, eventually we will be open for dine-in. Just hang on tight with us. We're doing our best. We just want to make sure that we take the right steps, the right precaution. It's we don't have time to fuck up. So we want to take time to not to fuck up. So we're going to take it a little bit slower, but we will get there. Until then, we got the takeout. You can order online. Most of our specials are always going on Instagram. So follow us on Binchoyaki on Instagram. If anything, any questions, just shoot me an email at info@binchoyaki.com, and we'll do our best to accommodate what your needs are. We're here for you.
Okay.
Open Tuesday through
What-
Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
11 to 8.
I should say that.
Okay. What's your address down there?
We're at 2226 10th Street, right on 10th and W, right at the corner.
10th and W. I used to live on 8th and T, and that's a crazy time. That's a good neighborhood out there. Hey, I just want to thank you guys for coming. You guys were so great. I love the story. I see the love. Congratulations on the new one coming aboard. Congratulations on the other two kids and the dog that I met before we got on. This is coming in hot. We just interviewed Craig and Toki from Binchoyaki in South Side Sac. See you next week. You can always holler at me at Nash and Proper, all social media handles, at Coming In Hot, at Chef Cease, if you just want to holler at me if you need anything. Thank you, everybody. Love you. See ya.
Thank you.